show, we're getting to it today. Okay? Let me take the reins here tonight. I'm like a player coach. I'm like Big Rose today. Let me take over.
Oh my, that is so funny, Paul. Because the last time that we saw you, you were on our show of SmackDown. And if I recall, you got exposed by some little hacker losing Andy Rose to Otis. Oh, and Bailey and I've been dominating the women's division. Right?
What did she just say?
Oh my, that is so funny, Paul. Because the last time that we saw you, you were on our show of SmackDown. And if I recall, you got exposed by some little hacker losing. You got exposed by some little hacker losing Andy Rose to Otis.
Some little hacker, eh? Some little hacker. I guess the hacker who everybody has been making videos about, because a lot of people are making videos about the hacker being dead. Because, you know, we haven't seen him for a long time. So there were videos about people saying that the hacker is no more. But it seems like the boss, the standard, the blueprint, the conversation, the leader, and whatever other nickname she has just opened the floodgates and has told everybody the hacker is still around. Hello everyone, and welcome to this new video I've decided to make. And this is going to be a very interesting video. So, today I'll be discussing my theory on what's going to happen with the hacker, this point on, with Sasha Banks and Bailey. Sasha Banks mentions the hacker. Has Sasha Banks made a big mistake? And the big question is, will she regret mentioning the hacker to Dolph Ziggler? So, let's dive right in to my theory. With Sasha Banks mentioning the hacker, it opens up some details. The fact that we know that the hacker for the last month, when we've seen him show videos of Sasha and Bailey. He had a video of Tamina pinning Sasha Banks. He's had his fair share of videos of Sasha and Bailey. So, what's this theory? Well, it's an Austin theory. No, I'm kidding. That's gonna be a joke. That's just a joke. That's just a joke. It's a theory. An Austin theory. Yeah, it's just a joke, so calm down. It's a pretty bizarre concept, to be honest with you. And the fact that we know the hacker is still around, don't be surprised if we see the hacker again, because Sasha Banks mentioned him, as you guys saw and I played in that opening clip. So, here's something that I want people to realize, and to all the people that thought the hacker was no more and he's dead, the character's dead, they've dropped it. They dropped the character, they dropped the gimmick, they dropped the storyline. I want to make things clear to you. If WWE was to scrap something or drop it, it would never, be mentioned again. They would erase it from our brains and it'd be gone forever. That's the truth. But because Sasha Banks mentioned the hacker, it opens our ears and it opens our eyes, and we know the hacker is still around. We know he's still around. We know he's still a thing. So what's gonna happen? Well, this is my theory. My theory is, around Extreme Rules time, whether if it's before, at the pay-per-view, or after, the golden role models world will come crashing down. I feel like this coming Extreme Rules is where everything goes crashing down for the golden role models. So, Sasha Banks, she was the one that mentioned the hacker. Sasha Banks has gone on record so many times. She said it on Raw Talk. She said it so many times. She said it very clearly on Raw Talk, and this is where things get interesting. She has stated that she will never turn on Bayley. She will never turn on Bayley for any reason. She said she would never backstab her. She would stay by her side forever. Best friends forever. We are best friends forever. I will never betray my friend. Not for the SmackDown Women's title. That's why I challenged for the Raw Women's title. She's my best friend. I love her. We are best friends forever, and we will never break up. And that is why I think the hacker is going to make his move. I think the hacker is going to show Sasha Banks that Bayley isn't the friend that she always believed she was. I truly believe this whole story is going to end with Sasha Banks becoming the babyface. It's kind of the direction that everybody's kind of expecting. This is kind of the direction that everyone's expecting. Sasha's going to be the babyface. Bayley's going to remain the heel. It's kind of clear it's kind of clear that could be the direction they're going in. So because Sasha believes that Bayley is her best friend for life and they will never break up for any reason, I believe the hacker is going to show a video. He's going to appear at some point and he's going to show Sasha Banks that Bayley isn't the friend that she thought she was. Extreme Rules is probably going to be the night where the golden role models world comes crashing to a halt. Sasha Banks is going to fail to win the Raw Women's Championship. Bayley will successfully retain the SmackDown title. And I think either at Extreme Rules or sometimes after Extreme Rules, they will lose the Tag Team Championships. The hacker will make his move. And I think the hacker will, as I said, I think the hacker will show a video to Sasha Banks and Bayley, and he will reveal a video of Bayley plotting a plan to stop Sasha Banks from getting anywhere near her SmackDown Women's title. Maybe she has a secret interview that nobody saw. Maybe she's talking to herself backstage and she says that she will make sure that Sasha Banks gets nowhere near her championship. I think it's a strong possibility. I think Sasha's world, especially Bayley's world, is really going to crash down really hard very soon now that the hacker has been mentioned. Also, here's another thing that I feel like people need to have their attention to, is the fact that Bruce Pritchard, the guy who is now running both Raw and SmackDown in the creative direction situation, he is a fan of the hacker. He created the hacker. He created the whole hacker situation for Otis and Mandy. He created it. That's why it was on SmackDown. Because Paul Heyman was in charge of Raw. And that is why he has now assumingly moved Ali to Monday Night Raw. Because if Ali is moved to Raw and Sasha Banks just mentioned the Hacker on Raw, then clearly that must hint that Ali is on Raw and he is the Hacker. Secondly, if Paul Heyman was in charge, who's to say Paul Heyman would not like the Hacker angle? He may not like the whole Hacker stuff. He may scrap the Hacker. He may think Bruce Pritchard's idea for Ali doesn't work as a Hacker. So, I'm not saying that could be the reason why Paul Heyman got fired, but I think it's a strong possibility that maybe Paul Heyman might not have been all in on the Hacker. And that's why the Hacker is a Bruce Pritchard character. And because Bruce Pritchard is now on Raw, why not move the Hacker to Raw? So that's another big plus that I think people need to keep their eyes on, that Bruce Pritchard is a big fan of the Hacker. And as I said before, if the Hacker was no more, WWE would never ever mention it again. And considering Sasha Banks mentioned the Hacker by the Hacker, by some little hacker, basically saying the word little could also hint that it's possibly Ali. But all I'm saying is, Sasha Banks thinks that Bayley is her best friend. She will never betray her best friend for any reason. And I think the Hacker will expose Bayley to Sasha Banks. And that is when Sasha Banks will realize that Bayley used her, took advantage of her, wanted to have her as her friend to make sure that she would never, ever, ever challenge for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Who's to say there's an episode of SmackDown and Sasha Banks is not present, and maybe we get that Hacker thing appear on the screen where Bayley says something. Because we know when the Hacker appears, we kind of get a little bit of a hacking flash, and maybe he spots something. Because remember, we never saw. Because remember what happened with Sonya Deville? He had cameras showing what happened on the day of the date. So who's to say he's had cameras, and Bayley might have said something somewhere in these other hidden cameras that could expose Bayley. So either if it's at Extreme Rules or either during the build-up to Extreme Rules, I'm making a prediction that I believe the Hacker is going to appear and he is going to expose Bayley. He's not going to expose Sasha because Sasha thinks Bayley is her best friend in the whole world. Her best friend in the whole world, and she'll never betray her. Because that's what she said on Raw Talk. She will never betray her. Never, ever, ever. I will turn my back on my best friend. Not for anything. And because she thinks the Hacker is no more, and she thinks it's funny that Dolph Ziggler got exposed by the Hacker, that's where I think Sasha Banks will live to regret it. I think she will regret the day that she thought it was funny that someone would get exposed by the Hacker, because who's to say the Hacker does the same thing to her? But instead of exposing Sasha, she exposes Bayley, because the Hacker would constantly hear Sasha talking about how great of a friend Bayley is. And the Hacker could just snap his fingers, or even just press a button on his computer, and he will show a video of Bayley. And he will show Sasha Banks what a real friend Bayley is. So I think either by Extreme Rules or coming close to Extreme Rules, I think Bayley and Sasha's world will come crashing down. The golden role models will go from the golden role models to the broken role models. To where Sasha will have no title. She would fail to beat Asuka. And Bayley would be the only one still with a title on her shoulder But as Sasha said, she'd never betray her best friend for any reason. They would have a rematch for their women's tag team championships so they could regain them against whoever. Who knows? And then they would fail to win the titles back, and that's when the Hacker appears on the screen, and he shows Sasha Banks the truth. The truth will be heard. And I think Sasha may have made a huge mistake calling out the Hacker. And that is my theory. I hope you guys liked it. Hit the thumbs up. Comment your opinions down below. Do you think the Hacker will strike on Sasha and Bayley? I think he very well will. You guys let me know down below, and I'll see you all next time.